Thank you.
Of course, on the super building, all the old building, we have it. So that's the news and coming. If you're interested, feel free to connect any of the assistants outside, especially people around here, and we will share more information about the new course. And our second guest is Justin. Justin, I actually let the guests talk more about themselves. Justin worked in CBRE, the commercial real estate company, for over 15 years. From East Coast to West Coast, Justin already worked on, I'm not sure how many, but a lot of retail properties from different size. So later on, we will see what's the perspective he will give to us on the retail part. With that, let's welcome these two guests today. Okay, now turn it off, then let's just turn back to the two guests. I'll just give you guys 2 more minutes to briefly introduce yourself a little bit more about the properties you're familiar with.
Thank you. Just as Tim said, I started as an architect, practicing architect for the past 30 years, and specifically in old buildings, so we call it historic buildings. So it's my primary job is an architect, but later on, in the past 15 years, I started venturing into constructions, restorations, and development. So I'm the one from both sides, architecture, design side, and construction side, and also operating the project side. We talk about so.
Thanks.
Thank you. Oh yeah, sure. So as Joshua mentioned, I've been with CBRE for 15 years. I actually started in research, so I have a really analytical background, and then transitioned over to investment sales and have been doing investment sales my whole career. I started in the Philadelphia market, actually sold property types from self-storage, apartments, industrial, office, retail, and I always really liked retail the most, and I'll get into a little bit about that later. But when my wife told me we were moving to California because she wanted to be closer to her parents in Long Beach, I said, okay, but I'm staying with CBRE and I'm going to do all retail. And so that's what I've been doing the last 7 years here, multi-tenant, single-tenant, and trying to give you guys some perspective on what I'm seeing out there and where the opportunities may be for you.
Okay, great. Okay, then let's just jump into the main topic. Today and tomorrow, pretty much all kind of talk, one topic we will discuss is about the counter status and the trend of the real estate market. So today we will switch to the retail and historical building part. Maybe again start from Jibo and to Justin. Let's spend a few minutes share with the audience what's the current status of your area and what do you think will happen next 6 to 12 months.
I'm happy to start. Well, I mean, we all know during the pandemic that retail properties were one of the sectors that got hit the hardest with all the closure mandates and everything else. 2020 was a really difficult year for retailers, for retail property owners, my clients. But if there's one thing that's really come out as a positive for retail properties, it's how resilient retailers have been, it's how resilient retail properties have been, and I think that really bodes very well for the retailers and retail property sector moving forward. In 2021, it was the first year in over a decade where we actually saw more retailers open for business than close, and it was by a pretty wide majority. And I think that, again, the retail sector being so adaptive to the changing climate, I think really helped things. Investment volume in 2020 was pretty abysmal. And some of the most challenging deals that I've worked on in my career happened in that time when tenants weren't paying rent and you were trying to get estoppels from tenants, and lenders were trying to figure out what's the actual cash flow of the property, and helping clients exchange in that environment and find opportunities. But at the same time, my clients who bought at that time are now seeing, significant returns from the properties that they bought. Even the beginning of last year, investment volume was pretty low in the beginning of 2021. And then the third quarter and the fourth quarter of 2021 saw the highest investment volumes that we've seen in 15 years. And that momentum carried into the first quarter of this year when interest rates were still very low. And we saw almost a 50% increase in transaction volume in the beginning of this year versus the beginning of last year. So 2022 is off to a great start. We'll talk a little bit more about maybe where things are going. But vacancy rates also, we thought, when we were in the depths of the pandemic, oh my gosh, all the gyms are gonna go out of business. All restaurants are going out of business. Everything's closing. And if you look around in your local market, you can see, yes, unfortunately, there were some casualties, and there were some businesses that closed. Maybe for some of us, it was our favorite restaurant or our favorite store. But at the same time, if you look around, chances are maybe that space has been released by another business owner or another restaurateur who has a vision to take that unit and that restaurant, into the future for the next decades, right? And we now see gyms who were hit some of the hardest are out expanding. Planet Fitness is trying to get every location they can get their hands on. Grocery stores saw tremendous increases in their revenue because everybody, was going to the grocery store and they were cooking at home and they weren't able to go to restaurants the way that they were. And now you see every major grocer is out there trying to get their hands on any vacant box that they can find. Amazon opened up 7 locations in Orange County alone during the pandemic, right? So they saw an opportunity. They saw some vacancies, some properties maybe that had been vacant for a while, and they jumped on it, they seized on it. H-Mart opened up, or is opening up a new location in Westminster. 99 Ranch jumped on a vacant Vons that had been vacant for years in Tustin, and that's going to be opening soon as well. So I think there was just a lot of evolution in the retail market, the retail space, and I think that's going to bode really well for retail moving forward.
I'll follow up this topic later.
Yeah, I think you summarized great. I just what I feel. I myself a retail operators. I own restaurants and also I've gone through really, really hard time at the beginning of 2020 when the pandemic first hit, and that was it's the end of the world, and we were shut down. We were not allowed to operate. But I think that what got us through is our initial setup is very strong, and we had more prepared than a lot of first orders come in. So we navigated through the hardest time in the same location. Very specifically restaurant revitalization. But it's a great tool to help us to get through it. And also, I say, real estate partners or it's also gave us some opportunities as well. Some of the problem tenants in typical market is hard to deal with, it's hard to get rid of, but this is it's kind of a plus throughout, and we solve a lot of issues that in the normal time would be hard to solve. So that's to me was a opportunity. So I think throughout the last 2 years with our properties or restaurant or management, when we survive that, is getting stronger and more efficient, and actually the profit margin is higher just because all these troubles are gone. And then I see that now the retail market is real estate market is coming back. Is really strong. Our new development shows the willingness and to take the spot and when the place is right and then the product is right. We see that really strong.
Yeah, I think that was a really great point, and I know a number of my clients that had problem tenants and maybe weren't paying rent before, were always late, always giving them issues, and they did use the pandemic to try to weed out some of those tenants that had been really difficult.